These are in listen-only mode.
Hi, thank you so much for attending our webinar today with Assurity. So greatly appreciate everyone taking time out of their schedule to join this IAMS Assurity webinar. This is Sandy Vicani. I'm a supervisor here, of producer services with IAMS. Couple things to go over before I send it off to Brandon Johnson with Assurity. Again, thank you everyone for attending this webinar. Wanted to let the agents know out here that with IAMS, we offer such great incentives when you refer an agent over to us. When you refer that agent and that agent contracts, we send you a $50 check just to say thank you. When that agent writes business and places it, whether it's life, annuity, MedSup, long-term care, combination thereof, we will pay you 20 basis points on each piece of business placed by that referral, and that is indefinite. There is not a time limit on that. It doesn't come out of their commission. It doesn't come out of any of your commissions. It's just IAMS' way of saying thank you so much for trusting us with this referred agent. We also wanted to say thank you when you write your own business, and we have something called a marketing reimbursement account. And what we do is for every $100,000 of placed business with us, we will put $200 in a marketing reimbursement account for you to use on business expenses. So for example, if you write $100,000 in places and that $200 is in there, what we'll do is when you send in an invoice for a $400 seminar that you may have paid for a website, we reimburse 50% of that, for the $200 or what you have in that account. So great opportunity for you to submit business, place business with IAMS, and to help with business expenses. In addition to that, any new agent who writes with IAMS, your first 6 months, if you place $100,000 in business, and again, that's life, annuity, MedSup, long-term care, combination thereof, you earn a $750 cash bonus, or you can choose a 2-year producer website that we manage and create for you. If you place $300,000 in business, you don't want to cash out of that $100,000 level, you can earn a $1,500 gift card, or you can choose a $2,000 marketing reimbursement, or you can choose a great Social Security program and 3,000 piece mailing. If you think, gosh, I'm just going to go great here in the first 6 months and place a $500,000 of business, you get to choose a 5,000 piece mailing and seminar coaching with a top producer of ours, Matt Gill, a 4,000 piece mailing and seminar coaching with another producer of ours, Dave Pimper, or you can choose one of my favorites, which is that Ritz-Carlton travel package where you get to design your own personal getaway. And again, that does not come out of your commission, doesn't come out of any commission to you as the agent. This is coming from IAMS as a way to say thank you for entrusting us with your business. And when you submit business with us, we have just a stellar back office support, which provides case design assistance. We have forms right on our website that you can access 24/7. When you submit your business with us, we scrub the application, make sure nothing's missing, submit it the same day to the carrier, give you a call and let you know, this is additional information we need. On the life side, we schedule all the exams and labs for you as well. If you'd like to go to our website, you can pull up and run your own term and UL life quotes. You can do any annuity quote. And we have paperless contracting, so when you do send in contracting, you don't have to worry about all of that paperwork. It's all electronic. You just give us a call and let us know what carriers you want to contract with, and we go ahead and get you contracted. So as you can see, our back office support is strong. We encourage you to give us a call and let us know how we can assist you. For our creative marketing department, Josh, Trey Carton, and Tasia would be the ones that you would speak to. great opportunity for you if you need assistance in flyers, newsletters, postcards, any logo design. If you don't have business cards, or if your business cards are stale and you want a new look to them, give them a call. They can assist you with that. They also assist you if you have a website, refreshing that. If you don't, I'm creating a website for you and managing it. Google. So what they'll do is, for your area, make sure that when someone's Googling life insurance or annuities, that your company or your name comes up on top. And then, of course, great online newsletters. So if you want to start sending out newsletters to your clients, Tasia and Josh will be more than happy to, again, assist you with that in creating a newsletter and getting that sent out. Cannot stress enough a great opportunity to rebrand your agency or continue building your agency with marketing tools and pieces. With the IAMS website that I mentioned previously, it's available 24/7. That website is www.iamsinc.com. Very simple process to register. Again, always accessible. You can pull forms online if it's after hours or you're with a client. It has great current industry link in news. It has our annuity and long-term care grids. Again, you're able to quote term and UL products. And it's a great sales tool. Lists all of our incentives, our training. That's where you can see our whole month for September now for our webinar. So encourage you to go ahead and register if you're not already, and visit our new website. So for IAMS Wealth Management, with the DOL ruling, we have here at IAMS decided to try to make it easier for you as agents by having a wealth management side. What we're able to do is you're able to keep and increase your relationships by adding more revenue and retaining your clients. The increased revenue is those managed money fees. Most advisors see an increase in their fixed revenue and as well. For your client retention, you're able to offer a full range of products and services, which makes you very valuable to your client. They don't have to go out and look for another person for any additional business. And right now, while we talk about this, I'd like to launch a poll question. And what we'll do is just check yes if you're interested in getting more information in regards to the DOL ruling and the DOL rules. IAMS Wealth Management, we will be happy to get that information sent out to you. Checking yes isn't signing you up for anything. It's just saying that you would like some additional information. It strengthens your clients' relationships as well. You're viewed differently by your clients. As an advisor, now you're a fiduciary. Just cannot stress enough. Great opportunity to gather more information by checking yes. We'll be happy to get that sent out to you. For our Life and Annuity Academy, I also send out another poll question on that. Again, by checking yes, all you're doing is saying that you're wanting information. This is an industry recognized academy. We had over 1,000 agents register for this just this last quarter, and we choose between 35 and 40. It's an all expense paid academy. We cover the expense of airfare, lodging, meals, all of that, and it's a 2-day training. We go over different sales ideas and strategies from top producers. We go over obviously the DOL ruling and how that's going to affect the industry and what you can do to stay on top of that. We go over seminar systems, and not only do we go over, if you can't do a dinner seminar, you do not want that heavy expense of a dinner seminar, what you're able to do for those less expensive seminars and get just as many, if not more, people interested in, doing business with you. We go over annuity industry threats and trends, large life case marketing, and we do private financing or that bank on yourself product. Our great wealth transfer tools, advanced annuity sales topics, again, great information. Our next one is in November. Would, again, love for you to check yes. You're not signing up for anything. All you're doing is asking for more information. So would love to get as much information out to you as possible. Again, all expense paid trip. We cover the expenses on this. Again, choose between 35 and 40 agents. We had over 1,000 apply this last time. So very highly sought after. We also offer for agents that are placing business with us, it's the IAMS 2018 Marketing Summit, and that runs February 25th through the 28th of 2018 in Scottsdale, Arizona. What a great opportunity. I mean, not only are you getting a new producer bonus if you're a new agent, you're getting money in your marketing reimbursement account. You know, we're offering so much to you in regards to, you know, the company incentives and trips. We're also offering this trip. It's a 4-day, 3-night trip. It's, you know, a social and education event. You have until the end of the year. And then what we'll do is look over production and see where we stand and make sure that we can get you an invitation out. Again, ranked best hotel in Arizona and best golf resort in the Southwest, Boulders Resort and Spa. You have until the end of the year to produce some business and get your name in the running for that. So at this point, I'm going to send it over to Brandon Johnson with Assurity. Assurity is a great company, very competitive. We love Assurity. We do a lot of business with Assurity, and he is going to go over how you can integrate Assurity into your daily selling. Brandon?
Hey, Sandy, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good. Just want to switch over to me. I can take over.
There you go.
All right. Perfect. Well, I'd like to thank everyone to be on the call today, taking some time. Today we'll be talking about income protection and our disability income product. It's one of our core products at Assurity, and you know we work a lot with IAMS, and they're one of the top marketing companies we work with for sure. First class agency. One thing you'll notice about them, services is at the top of their list. So if you ever need anything from them, they get on it right away and have some great service. So to get started with this, obviously I want to talk a little bit about Assurity. Been around over 125 years now. We do have an A-rated. We're A rating through AM Best. Really known as a one-stop shop. With our products, you know, you'll see that we have life products that are simplified, all the way fully underwritten, and the same thing with our health products as well, fully underwritten and simplified. So it makes it convenient for you as an agent and also your clients. At Assurity, we do have a broad portfolio. At the top there, we do have some fixed annuities. We don't do a lot in the annuity business, but we do offer them. Our SPIA is pretty competitive in the industry. Can do that 10-pay SPIA into one of our whole life policies. Nice sales concept there. But in the middle there, you can see those are our health products. We have our individual DI, which I'm going to be talking about today. That's our Century Plus. Our simplified, graded benefit. Also the business overheads for those business owners. I'll talk a lot about business owners throughout this presentation just because we think income protection or disability insurance is very important for them to have. Then the critical illness products, those are very strong with those health agents. We have a lot of health agents writing that simplified critical illness, kind of pairing it up with their client's health policy to help with those major illnesses, cover those catastrophic needs. Then at the bottom there, we have all of our life products. Term life, we actually will be coming out with a new term here, hopefully in a month or so. We are in the process of finishing up the approvals on that. Some kind of quick hits on that. It will have the option up to $500,000 of instant decision, all the way to Preferred Plus underwriting. So we'll have an underwriting system that will you can get an instant decision on that. So it's going to be pretty exciting, and we're pretty excited about that. So keep our eye out for that. We will be promoting that quite a bit once we get the final approvals on it. I'm doing a lot of webinars and trainings, so be on the lookout for. I'm sure IAMS will be sending some information out of that once we get it approved. On the whole life side, We do have a joint whole life policy. With our policies, we are a mutual company, so all of our policies are participating. So our joint whole life, that's pretty unique in the industry, so it is a true first to die policy. So it pays out on that first insured's death. It is on a participating whole life chassis. We do have a simplified whole life that's for the final needs or final expense products. So kind of quick overview of our products. Obviously, if you need more information, Sandy can definitely help you out with that, or I can as well. One last thing before we get started in the meat of the webinar, we also have a leaders conference that you can qualify for. So the nice thing is, if you're writing business through IAMS and you're sending it to Assurity, you're qualifying for 2 possible trips. Next year we actually are going to Australia, April 14th through 20th, and you do have until the end of the year to qualify. We usually do have some incentives towards the end of the year, so be on the lookout for that as well. So to get started here, whenever you think about income protection, we always talk about the pyramid at Assurity. When you think of a pyramid at the top, you think about your client's assets, their personal assets, their business assets. Then at the core, you have their retirement and their savings. It's what they're saving for to retire on or what they need to live off of. Then at the bottom there, you have all your insurance. You have your auto insurance, your life insurance, your health insurance, and property insurance. The one thing we know about all that, the one thing that pays for everything is your client's income. So at the bottom, at the base, we always talk about income insurance or disability insurance. And that's one thing that protects all of that, because if your client isn't having an income, they're not able to pay for any of this, not able to put up money away for their retirement, pay for auto insurance or life insurance or health insurance, or have a house. So when we think about that, we always think about the pyramid, and the base of the pyramid, we're talking to your clients, is their income. They want to make sure that is insured. One thing we'd always like to point out as well is when your clients think about disability insurance or income insurance, when you're thinking about the needs or the reasons that an individual becomes disabled, most people think of accidents, people falling off ladders, falling, breaking their leg, falling on ice, something like that. But the truth is, that's a very small percentage. Only 9% are injuries. If you look here, 50% of these are illnesses. You have your musculoskeletal, connective tissues, that's 26%. Cancer, that's 15%. Then cardiovascular, so heart problems, is another 9%. So that's almost 50% are just from illnesses. So whenever you think of a disability policy, not very often are there claims from true injuries. A lot of it comes from illnesses, things like that. So successful disability producers, one thing we know about successful producers are that they own it on themselves. If you're out there talking about, disability insurance or income insurance, it's very important to own it on yourself, because you're showing your client that it is very important to have income protection, especially for you as an agent. If you're self-employed or own your own business as an agency, if you're not working, you're not making any money. So if you do become disabled from an illness, like I talked about, you're not able to work, that's going to, really affect your income. So it's really important to have that. Obviously, want to have conviction. A lot of people have stories that they can tell about a client that they've had that went on disability, where a disability policy really protected them. And then presenting solutions. Obviously, when you're presenting these, you want to know how the product works. You obviously want to know the best solution for them. You don't want to max out the policy and make it the most expensive policy for them. You want to present them the best solution. Now, just to have the conversation. It's really important to understand, obviously, how the product works, but also how to start the conversation with your client. And this is a really good question to do that. And you can do this now on the call. You can, how would you rank these 5 as in order of importance? Obviously, you have your health, home, auto, retirement, and income. You can circle the one that is the most important asset that you have right now. And you can ask your client the same thing. A lot of them, what they'll do is they'll circle their home, or they'll circle their health. Obviously, the health is very important, and a lot of individuals have health insurance to protect them. And if they don't, obviously, that's where you have another cell there. But you also have their home, which is a very important asset, and a lot of individuals consider that their most important asset. But one thing that pays for all of it is their income. And if they don't have an income, they're not able to pay for, put money away for retirement. buy a car or buy a home. In that case, also have health insurance as well. So income is one of the most important assets that they have to protect them. Now to get the specs of our Century Plus DI, just so you understand how it works. Issue ages are 18 to 60. Our occupation classes, we go from 4A down to 1A. One thing you know about Assurity is that we're kind of known as a blue collar carrier. So we'll take some of those higher risk occupations that a lot of companies won't take. And for those occupation classes, on the next few slides, I'll talk about kind of what individuals or what occupations fall into those categories, because 4A is our least risky, and 1A is our highest risk. So 4A would be like an insurance agent. So not a lot of physical labor, not a lot of risk with that occupation of being injured on the job. Issue limits, 8,000 up to 15,000. Actually, in a few days here, we are going to jump that up to $20,000 a month of limits. So that's how much money an individual can get paid per month. Benefit period. How long is someone going to get paid once they go on claim? So our benefit periods go from 1 year all the way up to age 67. Obviously, when you're creating the quote for an individual or set a policy for an individual, our sweet spots are 5-year or 10-year. But if someone wants the Cadillac, they can go all the way up to age 67 as well. The elimination period, how long an individual has to wait until they get their benefit. We can go from 30 days all the way to 365 days. The most common that one is 90 days. So our sweet spot kind of with our policy is 90-day, 10-year benefit. The nice thing about our policies are that, or all disability policies are, if an individual does become disabled and they go, back to work, the policy doesn't end. It's still on the books. They can still reuse that disability policy. If it's a different, injury or disability, it'll start the benefit from day one as well. We are guarantee renewable. So the nice thing about that is it does keep the premium pretty low for the client, makes it affordable. All right. So I talked about those occupation classes. Those 4As. When you think of 4As, you think of individuals that wear dress shoes to work. Real estate agent, an architect, a biologist, computer programmer, someone that doesn't have a lot of risk, is in the office pretty much all day, so not out in the field. But it's going to be a pretty low risk occupation. 3As, those where the individuals get a little, maybe on their feet a little more, like a dental hygienist, a nurse. We do have some options for nurses to get a 4A occupation with that. So if they're not in the ER setting, they can get a 4A occupation. But those dental hygienists, they're a very popular occupation with us, just because they're kind of a niche occupation where DI is an important part of what they need. So occupation 2As, your auto mechanics, your carpenter, your plumbers, so a little more blue collar occupations. Then the 1As are auto body repair, roofers. You can actually take police officers on 1As as well. So it's we're one of the few companies that will take police officers. The non-eligible, armed forces, athletes, bartenders. So a lot of these are either the risk of the occupation, but we also look in the fact of the income verification as well. For a bartender, it's not a real risky occupation, but it's hard for us to verify how much income a bartender makes just because they make a lot of money off their tips. So at Assurity, we are a true own occupation definition. What that means is that we will continue to keep a client on claim if they're not able to perform the duties of an occupation they were trained for. So give an example. We actually had a case that this happened with. We had a nurse, an ER nurse, go on claim. She hurt her back. She went on claim, and she was not able to go back to work and be an ER nurse because her back never completely healed. The doctor said she can go back. She can go, push papers or be a secretary for someone. That's not a problem, or be an insurance agent. She actually went on to be an insurance agent. We actually kept her on claim because she was not able to perform the duties that she was trained for, her true own occupation. So she's going to stay on claim for 2 years automatically with us, even if she has another occupation, because she's not able to perform the duties she was trained for as a ER nurse. So that's nice. That's 2 years automatically included. We do have a true own rider, which will carry it out all the way to the benefit period. So for that individual, she actually had a to age 65 benefit, and she had a true own rider to age 65. So she will actually stay on claim with us all the way to age 65, continue to get a benefit with that, and get that income from the other job that she currently has as an insurance agent. So it's a pretty nice concept, a pretty nice thing for your client to understand. So if they're not able to do the things that the occupation they were trained for, they will stay on claim with us. 2 years automatically, and you can add that own occupation rider. We do have 10 riders you can add. I did go over that true own occupation rider. I'm not going to go over all of these. Obviously, if you have questions on them, we can discuss this at a later time because it'll take too long. But I'll go over a couple of them here. The supplemental disability income rider, I'll go over that one on the next slide. But what it does is offset social insurance, so it makes it a little cheaper for your client. Retroactive injury rider. This rider is added quite a bit. It's a pretty inexpensive rider. What it does is if a client does become disabled from an injury or an accident, we'll actually take that elimination period down to 0 days. So if your client has a 90-day elimination, 5-year benefit with a $3,000 a month benefit amount, what we'll do is if they fall off the ladder, become disabled, after those 90 days, so they have to meet their elimination period, we'll go back from day one on that 90 days and pay them $3,000 a month for 3 months. So it's a $9,000 check for that retroactive injury. So it'll retroactively pay their benefit from day one once they meet their elimination period. Own occupation rider, that's the one that extends that true own occ definition all the way out to their benefit period. The residual, what this is, it pays upon loss of earnings. So with our disability policy and almost all disability policies, we're not going to start paying a disability income until your client is fully disabled. So if your client, ends up with cancer and they are missing part-time work, but they're able to work half the time, so they're getting 50% of their income, our disability is not going to start paying them income until they're fully disabled. With this rider, what it'll do is it'll start paying their income upon loss of earnings. So once that client is starting to lose, half their income because they're getting treatments, we'll actually make up that 50% from our disability policy. Nice rider to have, so it helps them, get a little income if they're not able to work full time. The critical illness benefit, this pays a lump sum benefit upon diagnosis of a major illness. I'll go over some of those illnesses on the next few slides here. Nice rider to add, especially helps with that elimination period. Someone has that 90-day, if they do end up with cancer like that last example I gave, it can help make up that benefit for them. So break down the riders. The supplemental disability income rider, it's included almost on over 80% of our policies we write is included on. The automatic increase rider, what that is, that's essentially an inflation rider, a 5% inflation rider. That is included on a quarter of the policies. So to go over the supplemental disability income rider, how it works, what it does, it offsets the a benefit amount dollar for dollar for any social disability that the client starts receiving. So in this example here, they have a $2,000 or $3,000 benefit, $2,000 in the base and $1,000 in the SDIR rider. And what it does is, if a client starts getting $500 from, in this example, is Social Security disability, we lower our benefit for $500. So they're still getting a $3,000 a month benefit. $2,500 is coming from us, and $500 is coming from Social Security disability. So they're always going to be getting that $3,000 a month benefit. That $1,000 in that SDIR is going to depend on either it's coming from us at Assurity or it's coming from another social disability policy. So the reason you would want to add this is on one is in two ways. You have to add it to get their full benefit amount, but it also helps lower the cost because it lowers the risk for us at Assurity because they're, if they do on claim, they have the possibility of getting a lower, us paying a lower benefit because they can get benefits from another social disability policy. Critical illness rider, what this does, and if you're familiar with our standalone critical illness, it works the same way. What it does, it pays a lump sum benefit upon diagnosis of one of these illnesses. Nice thing on Assurity, we do have the 3-category approach. How that works here at Assurity is, you can see here category 1, that's a heart attack stroke category. So if your client has a $10,000 critical illness rider, if that client ends up with cancer, or sorry, has a heart attack, we'll actually pay out that $10,000 benefit. Then that category has been used, and go to category 2. If the same client ends up with kidney or renal failure, we'll pay out another $10,000 benefit to them. And then category 2 has been used, and they still have category 3, the invasive or non-invasive cancer category. They end up with invasive cancer, they have really bad luck, we can actually pay out another $10,000 in benefits. So it's actually a $30,000 benefit with that one rider, which is nice. So it does do that 3-category approach, which is pretty nice to have for that client. So it's essentially a cancer, heart attack, and other type benefit. Return of premium. With this it works just like it does on a term policy. Issue ages on it are 18 to 44. They get 100% of their money back after 25 years, and ages 45 to 55, they get 50% of their money back after 10 years. The question I always ask individuals is, if you could pay a little extra for your car insurance and get your money back if you didn't ever use the benefit, would you do that? And most individuals obviously would do that. So if they can afford it, I always suggest showing it to them, or at least give them as an option. Just tell them, hey, if you want, if you don't ever use this policy, you can get your money back after 25 years if they're under the ages that we allow. Underwriting for this policy, it works a little different. If you're familiar with life insurance underwriting, obviously, that's going to look at the health and how long an individual is going to live. With disability, we're going to look at a few different things. We're obviously going to look at their occupation, their job duties. That's where that occupation class comes from. So we have an occupation guide that pretty much lists every occupation out there. If you're not sure on a certain occupation, you can always let us know. But that's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at their occupation, if we can ensure that, and what occupation class they're going to be in. Then their income. We're going to look at, for self-employed individuals, we're going to look at their net income. And for non-self-employed, W-2 employees, we're going to look at their gross income. So it's a big difference. So if they're W-2, look at their gross. If they're self-employed, look at their net. Sometimes that's kind of a disadvantage for self-employed individuals because you want to have the lowest net income as possible so you're paying the least amount of taxes. I'll talk about some advantages we have for those self-employed individuals coming up here. So obviously, we'll look at the health of the individual. Not only, how long they're going to live, we're also going to look at, if they've had any issues with their, joints back, things like that. If they have had issues, give an example, if someone had a back issue, what we can do is we can modify that coverage, or we can exclude that as well. We can just say that we're not going to pay a claim out if that individual does become disabled from the back, or we can modify it as well. If the client applies for a 90-day elimination to age 65 benefit, we can give them that benefit, but modify the coverage for the back, say 90-day elimination, 2-year benefit is the max we'll offer with that if they become disabled from that back. So a lot of moving parts to it. So if an individual did have issues in the past, doesn't mean we won't cover them. We can modify it or exclude certain things. Pre-screen checklist. This is important to use, especially if disability is new to you. Disability is not written a ton in the industry, and we're trying to get more and more individuals to write it because one, it's a door opener for those individuals because there's not a lot of agents talking about it, and those clients, a lot of them need it, especially those self-employed individuals. So if you have those self-employed clients, I would always recommend bringing up disability or income insurance to them. It's an easy sell, and obviously, if you're not familiar with it, this checklist really helps. It helps you out. It gives you, all the questions you need to have answered to get a quote ran. You can send that into us. You can send it over to IAMS, and they can help you out with that. So self-employed individuals, I talked about there's some advantages for self-employed individuals because at Assurity, we know that them having income insurance is one of the most important things they can do. For that, so if you have a self-employed individual, they've been in the business over 3 years, own the business for 3 years, have a net income of at least $30,000, and own at least 10% of that business, what we do is we give them an occupation upgrade. So if that individual was a 2A, we can actually upgrade them to a 3A. What that does is that lowers the cost for that individual. You can lower that cost anywhere between, I think, 15 to 25% on that premium. So pretty big cost savings for them. So it's, obviously a good advantage for them to take out a DI policy. As you see here, for a 2A to a 3A, it gives them the longer occupation classes, things like that. A multi-lift discount also in that small business market, or those self-employed individuals. If they do have some employees that work with them, what we'll do is if there's 3 issued policies with the employer-employee relationship, we can give each policy a 15% discount. So a lot of individuals do, if they work in that small business market, if they're looking to get in that small business market, what they'll do is they'll write a policy on the owner, an individual DI policy on the owner, a business overhead expense on the owner, and then write one additional policy on one of his employees, and that's a 15% discount, because it doesn't have to be 3 different individuals. It has to be 3 different policies. A business overhead expense policy is considered, will be considered at that 15% discount. So a lot of times what it is, it's enough discount to pretty much give that business overhead expense policy for free, because it's so big of a savings. So that's what a lot of individuals do with that. And you can do a list bill option. It doesn't have to be list billed, but we do give that as an option, which is great. So obviously, to finish it up here, one simple question: do you rely on your income to pay the rent? The rent, car, groceries, or bills on a daily basis? That's a simple question you can ask your clients, and obviously they will. It'll open it up to them saying yes. Here's my contact information and page prices. We're the regional team here at Assurity. So if there's any questions you have, we can kind of open that up to it now. Say, do you have anything to add?
Just that Assurity, while we're talking about this, I'm distributing a poll question. Would you like to get some contracting information for Assurity? Again, this is not automatically signing you up. It's just asking for more information to get contracted with this great carrier. Assurity, working with them not only on a new business standpoint, but on a customer service standpoint for your clients, very easy access company to work with, have no issues, because we know when the sale ends, your service doesn't end to that client. So can't stress enough how easy it is to work with Assurity. The accessibility and the customer service is outstanding. So would strongly suggest that you give us a call or email us for quotes on their disability product or any other product that Assurity offers. Brandon, did you want to touch base slightly on any other products at all real quick?
I mean, that's really about it. I mean, obviously I talked about that new term coming out here. We are, like I said, we are pretty excited about that. It's going to be one of the top policies in the industry. For a long time, we were known for our non-med term policy. We had some, we'll say, price tweaks to it. So we're kind of getting realigned back with our pricing of the policy, and the underwriting process is going to be pretty nice as well, up to $500,000 instant decision possibilities.
So as you can see, a lot of exciting things going on with Assurity and IAMS. Would love for you to give us a call. Again, Sandy Vacanti with Insurance Agency Marketing Services, and of course Brandon Johnson with Assurity. So any questions, give us a call. Thank you so much for your time. Brandon, thank you for taking time out of your day to go over this great product that you offer. And everyone will be getting a recorded version of this webinar, so be expecting an email from me on that. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
Bye-bye.